Hey guys, my name is Ryan and welcome to Overwatch Central. So Torbjorn is a hero that a lot of people play now and again, and it can be really tricky to get the most out of the hero. So in this video, this is a complete master guide. Everything that you need to know about Torbjorn is in this video, and it basically works like this. We go over Desrow Gaming's, who's a very good Torbjorn player's top 5 maps for playing Torbjorn on. Most of these are first point only, and he's going to show us the perfect places to put your turrets in a lot of different situations. Even if you don't play Torbjorn, this is worth watching. It's incredibly fun and you'll learn a lot from it. So tune in and hopefully you enjoy it. So we're on Hollywood, probably the most popular Torbjorn map, and of course here with Desrow. First and foremost, what are you trying to do here as Torbjorn? Like, we're watching you dance a little now. Why is Torbjorn so good on this map, and what are you trying to do to hold this first point?
I think one of the reasons Torb is really good on this map is just a variety of turrets, and just, you know, the safety of Cafe gives you a lot of options. It used to be a little bit harder with Torb because, you know, they would sit with triple tank and a soldier at Gatorade right up there, and you couldn't really do much. But now with Dive, you got a lot of options. So my first turret, one of my favorite turret, is right here. You'll see a lot of Torbjorns put their turret like right there, and then the team has to pick it off. But the reason why I don't like that is because my first turret's pretty aggressive, and the reason it's pretty aggressive is they come in, they're like positioning themselves, trying to like, oh, where's the Ana? We gotta go dive. And then as they like come in, they're like, oh, the turret's annoying, but we gotta go in, and we don't have time to kill the turret. So it's a great turret. Sometimes you'll even have like a Ryan or a Diva doing defense matrix holding, and this turret will get a lot. Sometimes I'll get some kills depending on what my tanks are. I'll be shooting as well, trying to get some kills, and as it dies I'll be backing up, giving armor. I'll be backing up, and then you want to break the railing, and then you want to put your second turret right here. I won't finish it because you get the point. If they kill this turret, and one thing that's good about this turret as well is if they decide to push back alley, and your turret's sitting right there, when they're back alley, they're coming out here, the turret has like a great spot to not get shot. Now if they're all going back alley, this turret usually you might die trying to put it up. So you have a few more options. You can put it here, you can put it, I mean, bottom cafe is not so great. A lot of people will be like, why don't you put the turret on the high ground, like it'll shoot everything. Yeah, but if it's like very obvious and very easy to pick out, then it's just gonna die. It's not gonna do much. It's the same thing with this moving platform. Like, you can set it up, like let's say they don't have a Pharah, or they're like running Genji Tracer, and you put it here. It can be very annoying for the flankers, but it's usually not something I like to even attempt.
Okay, see, they're the two main ones. The one by the
bushes.
entrance, or the defensive ones,
Yeah.
and bushes, yeah.
Yeah, those are the two primary ones, yeah. They're just so great, honestly. And the cool thing about this one also is because they're like coming on point, right, to fight. Let's say you even get picked off, you can pop Molten Core from spawn as you walk back, and it'll do enough damage for you to like come back here. Oh, and that's another great turret spot here. Let's say like you pop Molten Core from spawn, your ult ended, they kill that turret. You can set up one right here so that once they're on point, they're fighting, they're like, oh no, the turret. And that they have to put their back against your teammates, you know?
So what are you trying to aim to do as Torbjorn then? Is it just more creating a diversion, or more like something that's just going to make it difficult for the team to focus on anything? You want to sort of pull people's attention, right? You want to have one half of the team trying to kill the turret whilst the other one try and dive whoever else.
Pretty much, yeah. Like, the turret is a diversion for me to get kills. It's a diversion for my supports to be able to survive. You know, like, if they come in and they want to dive an Ana, but there's a turret and there's me next to it, like, the Ana has time to run. She's got room to breed. And that's the great thing about Torb right now in the meta. Even though killing a Winston and a Diva is pretty annoying, the turret just provides a lot of time for your supports, and it helps the supports do a lot. And Torb is great at fighting flankers. If you can be accurate with the shotgun and the left click. Honestly, the left click is the best, but it's just really the turrets will help you do the space for your supports to live. Because, you know, that's the biggest thing right now is like everyone's running dive, everyone's killing the supports, while Torb will prolong the life of the supports.
So another really popular map for Torbjorn playing competitive at least is Hanamura, and again, what are the best positions that you're trying to aim for, but also go over the ones that if you can't set up there for whatever reason, you're looking to do. But I guess again, you're not going to put a turret right at the start because that gives away that you're playing Torbjorn as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen Koreans put their turret right there, and you know, Koreans usually have put a lot of thoughts into their play. But since you're playing competitive, you're not on a pro team. My first turret is always this one. The reason it's this one is because I mean it's hard to shoot because of the grill. So I really like this turret. And one cool thing about this turret as well is that it can't be shot from the window. So this turret requires a lot of attention from the enemy team to take down. So if you're at the choke, you know, Hanamura, a lot of people dislike it just because it's a single choke, myself included, but when I play Torb, it's great. So they come here, sometimes they'll have a Ryan, sometimes they won't, and they really have to spend their time shooting it. Now I can repair it, I can shoot at them back from the point, but they can't shoot it from the window, so you know I have to cover the window with my little Torby and let my turret get the choke. I can fight the Widow, I can fight the Widow, the Pharah, and you know this will bait people. So most time people will be like, hey Pharah, take out the turret. She's like, I can't see it. So she can come here, I can shoot her back, or she can go through the window and come up here, and then I can take a duel with her in the air. I mean, my soldier will most likely be here on the top, covering anyway. So the Pharah is really limited, and most of the time she'll have to be right over there. Now, once they've shut the turret or the turret's dying, and I'm like, okay, this isn't gonna work, there's a few alternatives you can put here. As let's say like this is like your second time on defense, because you've had like a very exciting game on Hanamura, which is rare. You can put it here if they think you'll be playing Torbjorn. You can put it here because you know they walk in, you can shoot, and you can protect the turret with your shotgun and your left clicks. That's a great turret. It's a great first turret alternative if you're tired of this one. If it works too well, you can try something else. And the second best turret on this map is right here. You can even, let's say like it's contested, you can even just put it here on the edge so you can hammer from safety. And then as they walk in to the point, you'll pop Molten Core and I'll be shooting them. And I'll just have a really tough time dealing with it. I'll give you an example of how it looks like. You walk in, get on point guys, it's gonna be great. And then, they get shot. And then even when they're here, they get shot through the windows. So it's a great turret.
Yeah, so there's a lot of like cross-play between, say, the two major turrets that you've wanted to set up have that crossfire as well. So I guess you want to do that as much as possible.
Yeah, you always want to, and in between pushes, let's say like you press tab, right? And in between pushes, they've got like a Pharah now, and they've got, let's say they were playing like Reinhardt and a slow comp, and now they're going super quick, Winston and Diva and stuff. You can reposition it here, and they'll be like, oh, where's the turret? And then it's over there. And if you're really desperate and you're walking back from spawn because you died, you can always put one here or put one here. Which is a little bit more conservative, but really these two turrets are the ones to remember.
Okay, how about for point B then? Because it is actually a map that you can stay on Torbjorn even if you lose the first point.
Yeah, it's one of the strongest second point Torbjorn map. I mean, the alternative is what? Anubis and what's the other one?
Volskaya. And Horizon as well.
Yeah, Horizon is the most... the hardest defense map of all the new 2 CPs. So I'd still say Hanamura is one of the best second point defense for Torb. So, you know, like when you have, you're defending, and then sometimes on 2 CP they'll like finish the round with 6 minutes left on the clock, right? Because they just blaze through everything. One of the best turrets for that, let's say you really want to put a stop to them, is right here. It's a very conservative turret. It's very far back. There's a few dark spots or blind spots. Like if we look, that's my turret. So this entire spot right here is blind, and I guess this spot right here is blind as well. But the cool thing about this turret is you gotta like go up the stairs, You walk on point, you gotta go up the stairs and kill it, or you gotta go here and then start to shoot it, and then your teammates are walking out, and then there's a crossfire between your teammates and the turret. So that turret is a great stop. Like, if you lose the first point but you're close to your ult, if you have your ult with this turret, you're gonna do amazing things.
Okay.
And hopefully they won't cap in 2 minutes to both points. Now, second turret that I really like is right here. The reason why, I mean, it gets most of the point. It doesn't get the windows, which, I mean, you still have your gun to make that happen. It will get high ground if they push high ground, and they'll get the point. They'll come on point. They're like, oh, damn, the turret's here. And also one thing is, if the Pharah is flying in, she doesn't see it right away. Now, if they're going Pharah, Genji, Diva, and they're like, screw his turret, that turret's a goner. So what you can do is you can just put it here, or here, or even here as well, in this little corner. You don't want to, this window is really populated, so you don't want this turret to be exposed from the window, and you want it to cover the point, and it even covers over there, depending on the range. Sometimes it won't get the full coverage, but I've seen Torbs put it here, but if you're struggling with that turret and you put it there, it's basically the same problem, because they're all diving over there, and it makes it very easy for this turret to die from this angle, if you know what I mean. So this turret and this turret really are my favorites for this second point.
So Eichenwalde is the third best map out of your choices of playing Torbjorn, and no real surprise when you have this choke to sort of go through. I guess the more obvious one that you see is right at the far back by the signs and the lamppost here, but is there any other places that you feel are worth doing other than the glaringly obvious one?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people put the turret right here. My favorite, personally, is right here. Just because it provides a little bit of cover with the lampposts right here. So they'll walk in, and usually they'll be able to... I mean, there's the grass. You can be knowing there's tanks in the way, but they walk in, and usually people will be like, go left, and then they're trying to go left, and then it keeps covering into that room. Or, they'll climb on this, and they'll try to take fights, and they'll be like, oh no, the turret. So that's a very good turret of mine that I really enjoy. Eichenwalde is one of my favorite map. I thought statistically it would be one of my best map, but it really wasn't. I guess it's a little bit harder on attack, but anyway. So this turret's great. One that I really like, if they're really pushing in and your tanks have died and things are dire, is right here. So it's far back enough that it doesn't get killed so easily, but it also covers, covers most of the point. Doesn't cover here, but as they walk in, it'll get them, because they usually don't aim here. That's usually where your team is. Your team will be fighting like this, and they'll be fighting like this.
Yeah.
And so it gets them. If you're desperate and you backpedal back onto the point, you can put it right here. So I'll cover over there, cover over here. It's very easy to shoot, though, and it's not very well hidden, so that's one of the
I guess it's all about premonition, then. It's seeing where the enemy are going to be and basically making a turret as far away as possible.
Yeah, it's patterns, too. If a team really likes to go left, then this turret's going to get destroyed very easily, and then this one's better. If they like to go right, and they push right after killing your teammates, and this turret will do a lot, just based on distance. And there's also, each turret, or some turrets can have a different playstyle. You can, have the far back that's hard to reach, or you can have the flanking one, they walk in and they have to shoot this turret, like there's a blind spot, but it covers this, and then this here. But as they walk in, it's very
yeah,
what's going on? And yeah, that's really Eichenwalde for you. It's very simple. It's very short. It's very small point to fight, really. You don't have much room to hide. And let's say, for whatever reason, in the year of 2017, you have a Reinhardt. Like most people, putting this turret right here is not bad. Because a turret that's very obvious but gets a lot of damage done will get your ult quick. So that can always be useful.
We're on Nambani, and you were just saying to me that you wanted to, I guess, make a statement or formal apology from the Master Torbjorn video that we did quite some time ago.
Yes, I'll get to it in just a second. So my first turret is right here. The reason why I like this turret is because you'll have people diving, the soldier, the Ana, you know, the Winston, the Diva, the Genji, just picture them in your mind, jumping over here. And the cool thing about this turret is I'll be shooting them. If they get on point, I'll be shooting them. If they go under, I'll be shooting them as they come out. If they go main and walk on point, I'll be shooting them. The only downside of this turret will be a Pharah coming coast to flank, and this turret can't really kill her, and your soldier most of the time will be sitting right here, and so you won't be able to shoot the Pharah. So that's the only downside.
I guess what's really good about this turret as well is that you have a lot of freedom to guess where the enemy's going to come from, because some like to come from the high ground sort of opposite, some like to come from below or around, so I guess that's a good reason why this turret works, is because it can sort of gauge out where the enemy are coming from, and you're not over-dedicating putting it anywhere in particular.
Yeah, it really gets everything. The only thing it doesn't get, and it's not really popular in this meta, is this right here. But, you know, like if the enemy team is coming from here, they don't even see it, and then you can put in the work with your gun. Usually, when I have this turret, I'll be sitting right here to check under, and then I'll be moving up here if they're coming in here. I'll be moving up to shoot the Pharah. Or I'll just be sometimes walking down to shoot the dive. And if there's a Pharah, sometimes I won't even go up. Sometimes I'll start walking away right away. And then to address the people in the previous video, there's a bug with Torbjorn where when you put down a turret and you pull out your hammer right away, it pulled back your gun. And I was shooting at this turret in the previous video. So guys, I know shooting a turret is not the way to go to build it, but the cool thing about this turret is obviously when they come coast, it's far enough that it can be hard to shoot. When they go high ground, it shoots them. When they come main, it shoots them. The only thing that it doesn't help, or that it doesn't do, is protect your teammates on the catwalk from the dive. So that's the only thing it doesn't do, but once you put it down, you can come play here, and then you can be the second turret helping your teammates from the catwalk.
Any other decent spots to put them in, or?
There'll be different situations, you know, if it's if I'm having some Vietnam flashbacks and like, you know, everything's dying around me and it's really, really hard. Sometimes I'll put it here, like, you know, if they're coming coast, they're coming up there. Here is pretty conservative to build it and survive. Or you can always put it here, you know, you're walking back from spawn and your team's dying or whatever. You can like try to sneak one here, but other than that, this one and the one by coast is the best.
And finally, we're going to go over Gibraltar, which I guess is quite a big surprise in comparison to the other maps with how well Torbjorn runs on it. But I'm sure you're going to run down exactly why Gibraltar is one of your favourite maps to play with Torb.
I mean, Gibraltar has just so much complexity to it for the first point. You know, sometimes, you know, you're in bronze, people are gonna be, you know, defending the payload right away. But at my level, you know, Master, GM, a little bit close to top 500, depending on the day, my favorite first turret will be right here. So, I guess, like, this is one of my most forward turrets. It's just because this first point has, like, two phases, right? There's the phase of, like, you try to get a kill or two. Actually, you shouldn't be here. You should be up there with your turret. So you should try to convince your people to make the jump. Now, I have 200% speed, so it's a little bit easy to get the jump. But usually what you do is you back up a bit, and then you try to land the jump. With the speed, it's really hard to explain. But anyway, everyone should be able to jump here. If you don't know how to, just practice it every game until you get it. So you can ask your Rhine to play here. You can ask your Diva to play here. There'll be a Widow you want to try to shoot. Sometimes there'll be a Pharah. Sometimes there'll be a Genji, a Hanzo. And then you just try to get a kill. This turret's not going to live. Depending if you have a Narisa or a Rhine, it might live a little longer. Depending if you get a kill or two, you might stay here a little bit longer. But this is usually the first phase where you're like, hey guys, you know, just welcome to the game. Let's have some fun. After that, the turret dies. I've got, I mean, it's sort of the same spot. This one's more exposed, I suppose. And then it has more cover from this room. And this one covers this room, but gets less of the high ground over there. Mm-hmm. So really depending on how you feel about it. So this first turret, it's in the back, it's hard to reach, you play with your team, you cover this flanking route, try to land the headshot. Sometimes there'll be a Widow, so sometimes you can try to take some fights. And this turret usually will do most of the work, most of the heavy lifting, and you're just pressuring a lot with your weapon. But the reason why this turret is great, or this map is great, is because, you know, server room can allow you to shotgun people close range, and then the high traffic areas you can spam them with your left click. And let's say you died, right? You died, and you're coming back from spawn. My second turret, because the first one that we put on the high ground is just like a more of a decorative turret, like that turret over there.
Yeah.
Oh god, I fell. Okay, give me a second. So my second turret that I really like is right here. So they come up the slope, they turn the corner, and it just gets them. Or their server, it gets them. They flank from server, it gets them. And it won't get anyone up here. But that's why you can stay up here and fight and try to... And also the tarp will give you cover for a widow that's fighting over there.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can try to get a Hanzo affair. So this turret and the dish, and it'll protect you. So this turret's great. The turret by the forklift is great. And just the first point in general usually have really high success. So if you're not sure, like... If you like Torb on hybrid maps, but you don't have the courage to do it on payload, try to mix in Gibraltar into your games, and your win rate should stay consistent.
Okay. With if you lose the first checkpoint, would you tend to change off? Would you say?
I don't know. Like, it depends on your experience. You know, if you lose the first checkpoint, and by the time your team gets their act together to fight together, it'll be usually when the payloads are around here. And one of my favorite, I guess, you know when I said don't put the turret on the high ground, it's usually exposed? I still like the forklift turret, because they turn the corner, the payload's blocking the way, and then there's going to be my turret up here, or you can put it up here. You can even put it here as they walk in, or you can even put it here as it's far back. And then, let's say you won that fight and the payload's walking back. Then you can also put your turret like right here, a little bit like Hanamura, and you can hammer it from safety. And Torb is good at like long distance fights from time to time, so you can fight a Widow, you can fight a Hanzo. So I really like the second point for Torb, but I guess it's more advanced. You know, if you feel like you're contributing a lot, don't always think about medals, because you know sometimes it's not all about medals. But if you like Torb a lot and you feel like you're contributing a lot, you can keep Torb for the second point as well.
And that's it for this time. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Do let us know in the comments below and like this video if you did. Shout out to Desrow. He was tremendous in this video. It was just sitting back and watching this guy work his magic. All the details are in the description below. And until next time, take care. We'll see you then.